Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to model some mushrooms. Now, this is going to be a polygon modeling tutorial, and we're going to try and do it as quickly as we can. One of the main things that we need to consider whenever we do a modeling project is the basic shape in which we're trying to create. So for this model in particular, we're looking at a cylinder, and on top of the cylinder is another cylinder that's been capped. So that's going to be the parameters in which we work. So inside Maya, we're going to assume that you know how to use the basic layouts. If you don't, then you should take a bit of time looking at the getting used to Maya videos. I've set my background up to be a different color. So on the if you use the Alt and B button, you can cycle through some different background settings, which is quite cool. I'm using a nice light grey so that we've got some contrast, and I'm going to use a 4 view, so you can see that we've got 4 views up, and there's the top, the front and the side. And we're also looking at we'll be looking at some of the move tools and the transform tools as well as using the channel box down the side. Before we get started, let's just quickly make ourselves a new project. So I'm going to open up the project window. This is the project window, and here I'm going to click New. I'm just going to go to the C drive, and we'll have a look in the C drive where we want to go. So here we are. I want to go into the C drive, and I've just got my Google Drive set, and here we can use the mushroom project that I've set up. And here I've got a couple of photographs already, so I'm just going to select this as my default setting. And I tend to set most of my Google Drives up this way so that wherever I go I'll always get the same path names. And we'll just call this mush mod, and we'll leave everything else as default. Click accept. Okay, so on the shelf, what we've got here are our polygon tools, our curves and surface tools, sculpting tools, rigging, animation, VFX. And now I've actually got the turtle renderer set up, but I've also got RenderMan as well. I like to use the RenderMan renderer. It's free. You can download it as students, as tutors, and as non-commercial individuals as well. So let's get started. With the polygons menu, let's go in and press the Create Polygon Cylinder tool. It will create a polygon for us that we can look at. I'm going to hit Shift and F just so I can zoom out a little bit, and I'll just use the middle mouse roll button just to pull out a little bit more. Now you can see that my grid's not default, it's set to being something a little bit smaller. I'm going to change divisions over here in the inputs for this object. I'm going to change them to 6, so I've got 6 divisions, and I'm also going to change the divisions on the height to 3, and I'm going to change the divisions on the cap to 0. Now on this window I'm going to turn off the grid just to make it a little bit easier for me to see where I'm going. But on this window what I want to do is I want to move the object up. Now I could eyeball moving the object up, or I could actually just input the number using the transform translate node. And as this was a 1 unit high object and we were in the middle, I knew that I could move it up by 1 unit. So the next step we'll do is we'll go into component mode. So by right mouse clicking on your right mouse button, click and hold on your mouse, you can go into vertex mode, and in here we can select the vertexes by left mouse drag selecting a range over those vertexes. Now a vertex is a point in space, and if I click here you can see that this vertex has been set to default of 0, 0, 0. That's its birth position. If I move it away from that birth position, you can see that it now changes its shape, and if I put these back to 0, I can always reset to its original creation point. So looking at this mushroom, we want to create this sort of curve. To do that, we're going to first grab a bunch of vertexes, go into the scale tool, and we're just going to scale these up a little bit. We'll do that, scale them in, scale them in, and we'll leave that one where it is. So we can see from here we've got some nice curvature going on. Now I might actually just bring this one down, so I'm going to use the Move Transform tool and bring this one down as well. I think we're getting more of a sharpness there to that edge. That's where we're getting it. So that's the edges sorted. Now we're going to bring in, I'm going to go into our perspective mode because this is a little bit easier to model in here. I'm going to select, using the right mouse selection mode, to go into component face, and then hold down shift and then right mouse select again. I'm going to use the extrude face command, and this is going to ask me to basically pull this node away. So if I change the thickness, it will go up. If I change the offset, it will get bigger or smaller. I can change the divisions. I can have keep faces on or off, and that's probably where I want this object to look now. So again, I'm going to go back to the front view. I'm going to select this range. So I'm using the scale tool. I want to scale this really out high. I'm going to pull it down and over the top. And do the same with this one. I can actually do it with with the edges. It's not a problem. We're going to make this one out fairly wide. Okay, you'll see why when we start to get underneath. So underneath, what I want to do is select this ring of edges, and holding down shift again, I'm going to use the bevel edge tool, and in here where we've got the bevel edge, we can actually add an extra segment if we wanted, and you can see how we can start to bevel that edge in there. So we'll just use 2. Now we'll also change the fraction offset, so we'll make it a little bit tighter. Okay, now to test out how this is starting to look, if we use the number 3 button, we'll go into a soft mode, and I can see that it's starting to look something like, but I probably need to add a few more divisions. So go back to 1. I'm going to go into object mode and hold down shift, left mouse click and hold, and then drag for the insert edge loop tool. I'm going to edge loop just here. I'm just going to make sure that comes out a little bit and up, so that's a little bit rounder, and I'm going to do the same on the inside as well. So object mode, insert edge loop underneath here, and I'm going to use that to pull that down. You see we've got that pulled down now, quite nice and tight, and press 3 again, and we can start to see that this is starting to look more like. I've got a bit of a pinching going on at the top, we need to sort that. So on the top, I'm going to hold down shift, right mouse click and go into multi-cut tool, and I can cut that face in half and press enter to finish that cut off, and I can do the same on the underside as well. So I've now got basically half of a mushroom. I think what we'll do is we'll just select the top of this and just make this a little bit wider and down a little bit as well. So we're now getting this sort of shape, and you can see now we've got quads on top. It's all starting to look quite neat. I don't seem to have a problem here. Have a look at that. And there's the problem there. We've got some vertexes of mist off the side. So to fix that, we'll just look at how many vertexes we've got. So we've got a vertex here. It's been snapped. So what I'm going to do is I'll use the weld tool. So holding down shift, right mouse, I can use the merge vertex tool. So use a target weld. I'm just going to drag that and weld that in. I'm going to do the same on this one. Target weld in, and on this one as well, target weld in. And that should fix it. There we go. Using the number 3 on the keypad just allows us to see the smooth version of this. Now we've now got this with 66 faces. So I'm going to increase the subdivisions. So I'm just going to go to this mode here, press it 1 to smooth the object. We've now got 264 faces. And we've still got a little kink underneath here, so I need to just check under here. We seem to have a bit of a problem there as well, with multiple You can see we've got some multiple vertexes in there, so again we can come in, merge vertexes, target weld, we can just drag, click drag, probably this one as well, drag, that one. Let's just check we've got this all sorted. Press 3, make sure it all comes together nicely, and then we can hit the smooth button as well. Okay, so now we've got 256 faces, that's quite nice. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flatten this bottom piece out, so on here, just going to select these and scale them to make them go flat, and then move them into place. There we go. Now we can probably take that edge ring and move that down, just to create this sort of nice finish on the bottom here, like this edge in here. So let's have a look at this. How does that model stack up? Looks pretty good. Let's put a plane underneath it just to see. And we'll turn on our OpenGL ambient occlusion. Yeah, not too bad. So, first mushroom is done. We now need to clean this object up, so let's rename it. Click on its name in the attribute channel box, and we'll just call this poly underscore mushroom underscore 01. And then let's change these inputs, delete those, so we'll go edit, delete by type, history. That's important, we've got rid of all the history, so this model has just become a lot cleaner. Okay, so in the next video what we'll do is we'll look at UV mapping.